G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. I'm back this time with a response video for Metal Mickey. He's doing the 1, 2, 3 challenge. What's all that about? Let's find out. So Metal Mickey over at the Metal Mickey channel, that's Mike, he put up a, not a contest, but a challenge. It's called the 1, 2, 3 challenge, and let me explain it to you, because I think it's pretty cool. The video that he did was all about the first album from a band and it's your favorite, and then the second album from a different band and that is your favorite from that band, and so on and so forth, as high as you can go. I managed to get to 10. 9 and an asterisk. I'll explain it as we get there, but I'm going to burn through these pretty quick, keep this a bit of a short and tight video. So yeah, my number one, where my favorite album from the band is their first one, this was an easy one for me. It came up straight away. This is Abigail with Vorstung, Invoke the Dark Age. Oh man, the amount of times I've listened to this. This is Austrian black metal perfection. Many people wouldn't pick their first album as their favorite, but I always do. I think a lot of people sort of pick around about the third album, sometimes the fourth, around Opus 4, but yeah, like Nachttimen, or Opus 4, or Supreme Immortal Art comes up a bit, but not many people pick Vorstung. And yeah, this one's for me has always been the album. This is the same reason I pick this is the same reason I pick Dark Throne's Ablaze in the Northern Sky as my favorite. It is just raw. It's got enough dynamics, even though it's raw. It's teetering on the edge of the capabilities of the band at the time, but their ideas are just 10 albums ahead of themselves. The stuff on here at the time, I don't think anyone had heard before. It is very different to the Norwegian scene. It is evil. It is furious when it needs to be. It's slower and darker when it needs to be. The vocals are fantastic. Sometimes the drumming just loses it. It is my favorite Abigail, and that's a tough thing because there's a lot of good Abigail albums. Even their newer stuff I rate. I mean, Abigail is an excellent discography for me. So yeah, Abigail, Invoke the Dark Age, Vorstung, their first album and my favorite. We're gonna not do any cuts in this. I'm gonna move on to the next one. My second album is my favorite from the band. So there's Sophomore release. I can't even speak today. This one was also pretty easy. So many things I could choose from. There's a billion bands out there where you could say their second album is their best. But I went, I'm going to go with Impaled for a few reasons. One, because I think people tend to choose their first album again. A lot of people really like Dead Shall Dead Remain, and I do. It's a fantastic album. But and I got that at the time, and I thought this is really great. This is just ugly. It flows on from Carcass, but it's got this American style. It's stompier. It's uglier. Filled the void for me when Carcass had vanished. But then this came along, Mondo Medical, and it added so much more in the way of hooks and melody and humor. This is a damn funny album. All of the sound bites on this, which are the band themselves just pretending to be manic doctors, is fantastic stuff. I know that the sound bites backwards as much as I do the riffs on this thing. The songs are all unique and all stand out. Like I could sing them. Hippocratic Oath at the start is this like ominous intro, basically explaining the entire album. Dead Inside's got a massively cool opening riff. Raise the Stakes. Raise the Stakes is a massive crowd pleaser. So is Operating Theatre. I mean, we'll knock 'em dead in the Operating Theatre. What a fantastic line. Choke on It's fantastic, but this ending here, that Rest in Feces, that flows onto this quote, well, not quote, but like a sketch from the band members doing a kind of like, if you've seen the German horror film Anatomy, they're kind of doing a riff on that with these sort of sadistic doctors doing human experiments on living people and explaining it methodically to junior doctors. And that flows on to this Carpe Mortem. It's an instrumental, but it's one of the heaviest things ever. It is so amazingly good. Mondo Medical, the second album from Impaled, it's my favorite from the band. Fantastic stuff. And speaking of Carcass, you weren't going to get away from this without me showing a Carcass. I've said before, on a good day, I could pick Symphonies of Sickness. It really is a coin flip kind of thing. But if I'm really being objective about this, and if I include some nostalgia points at the same time, the first Carcass album I absolutely obsessed over was Necroticism. I knew it backwards. I had it on. I've still got my original CD. This is the original LP I got only recently. I played that CD on car trips with my family because I got it in 1996, so I was 16. I got the Wake Up and Smell the Carcass VHS, which had live footage from this album, and it had the video clips, the promotional clips they did for Corporal Jigsaw and Incarnate Solvent Abuse. Incarnate Solvent Abuse has got the best riff of any death metal for 20 years surrounding it. It's just an outstanding riff. And the clip on that is just mental. So, look, Symphonies of Sickness I probably play more these days. It's down to that whole thing. I played this 5 million times. I've only played Symphonies 1 million times. So I'm catching up. So I've been playing it a lot more. And therefore I go, this is my favorite. Really though? Really? Necroticism. The third album by Carcass. It's my favorite. And the next one is the fourth album for a band where their fourth album is your favorite. And look, this was a pretty easy picking for me. I could have gone a couple of routes, but man, Immolation, Close to a World Below. I think a lot of people like Dawn of Possession or Hereinafter. Depends where you came in with the band. But for me, this was a game changer, this one. Close to a World Below is just demonic fury. Hire Coward and Father You're Not a Father, that sort of 1-2 punch is just death metal royalty right there. The production is stellar. It is evil as Christ. I mean, pun intended. What else we got on here? Lost Passion. Put My Hand in the Fire. I mean, this is a brutal, dark, thick, epic, satanic, anti-Christian album of death. Everything that you want about death metal is pretty much here in this album. I got this one when it came out. I think this might have been the album for me when I started to follow them as they were releasing things. Everything before it, I think I was playing catch up on. That's about right. The album before this one, I think had come out and was starting to do sort of the circuit, but it really wasn't until Close to a World Below that it kind of really started to click with me, and I got in on this one, and it was followed up by Unholy Cult, which is it's close with this one for me. But this is fantastic, and whenever they pull out Hire Coward when they're playing live, it's just outstanding. I think a lot of people as well agree with me on this. It depends, as I said, when you come in on the band. I came in with them on this one, so for me, this one is my favorite. If you're an old school metalhead, you might like Dawn of the Possession. If you're a bit older than me, but I think there's a lot of people that would pick this album, their fourth, as their favorite. So there you go. And the next one, this was a flip a coin situation because I like both the fourth and fifth album from this band equally. I might troll Marty a little bit and say, nah, he's wrong with his choice, but the only reason that this one is getting picked today is because Immolation got the fourth spot. But I'm still 100% behind this choice. Bolt Thrower for victory. Fourth Crusade, I think I play just as much as this. It's generally these two albums that go on there. Warmaster, not so much. Realm of Chaos, not so much. The later albums, not so much. I reckon I just flick between Fourth Crusade and For Victory the most. But this one, and I know this is Marty's favorite, it's just everything that you want from that groove-based death metal. It is pummeling double kicks, and it is war. The tank is just rumbling slowly towards you. You are the back of this troop line, and you're just marching on to the beat of Bolt Thrower. When Glory Beckons, my God, what an absolutely cracking track. Lest We Forget is in here. Forever Fallen is in here. It's an old Modern Invasion original press with a triangle stuck on with concrete, for God's sake. Bolt Thrower. You can't go wrong with Bolt Thrower. Now, I know that metal, Mickey. Mike, he chose for those once loyal the final album is just as equally a good pick. Bolt Thrower, you just can't really go wrong. You know, your more sort of grindy punk diehards might go for In Battle There Is No Law. Realm of Chaos certainly gets a lot of its fans. I do dig the album, but it's that mix. It's a bit like your Symphonies of Sickness, right? It's grind, but it's also death metal. But it really started to change a bit by Wallmaster, and I think they really started to nail it for me on Fourth Crusade, which is just as good as For Victory. It, as I said, flip a coin, but today it's For Victory. The next one I know is probably going to be surprising to some people, but for me, this one was all about time and place. This was the Cannibal Corpse album that I was there on the ground floor. I got into the band... well, the first one I bought was Eaten Back to Life, but the first one I heard was Vile, and it was from the track Mummified in Barbed Wire, I think. And the video clip that came with that, and it was just that. I mean, that clip was pretty wild stuff. But the album that was released after it, sixth album, it's Gallery of Suicide. And yeah, we got the censored cover out here in Australia. You can go complain to Shock Records. This is the one that grabbed me the most. I mean, I'd listened to The Bleeding quite a lot. I found that one quite probably the easiest to digest. I think a lot of people would pick The Bleeding. Eaten Back to Life is definitely my second favorite. Again, those debut albums, they just, they set a standard. But Gallery of Suicide, man. Yes, I much prefer Corpse Grinder, particularly on anything post Eaten Back to Life. I think the vocals on like Butcher to Birth and that are just, they're right. Nothing to write home about at all, in my opinion, of course. But this was also really when the band started to get a bit more technical, I think. They were starting to on Vile, but the songs from Vile were written where Barnes was still around. This was sort of their first whole new exercise, with Corpse Grinder on there. I don't know if he was involved in the music at all, but the thing that really gets me on this album, I played this so many friggin' times because, man, this was another one, just car trips, playing it all the time. But the instrumental from Skin to Liquid, I think it was the first time they did an instrumental. So at least I can't think of one they did before that. But geez, I love that track. It is so dripping, and it's such a memorable lick in that as well. But the whole friggin' thing is fantastic. Sentence to Burn is such a banger. Yeah. I want to put it on right now. I really do. Gallery of Suicide. Yeah. I don't think many other people were going to pick this one. I know that Melanie loves death metal. She's a fan of this one as well. I don't know if it's her favourite or not. But yeah, for me, Gallery of Suicide, yeah, that's my Cannibal Corpse and the one I play the most, absolutely. All right, we're moving on again. How many have we done now? Kind of losing track. Are we up to 7? 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 7th album, which makes sense because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7. If I'm speaking in letters, then I'm speaking Morbid Angel, Gateways to Annihilation. And this is one of those ones as well that comes down to a few things. Me maturing over the years, like Altars of Madness. The first one I got was Domination. I got that when I was like 15. So for nostalgic reasons, it kind of wins because it was very, very early in my death metal. It was like one of the first 10 CDs I ever bought, ever. So I could almost pick that, but it's got some. If you're looking at it, it's got some fluffers on it. It does. Blessed Are the Sick I got pretty soon after that as well. That one's fantastic. The production's always been weird for me on that, particularly the drums. Great songs. Altars of Madness, absolute damn classic. Right. Covenant's got some classic songs on it, and it's definitely the heaviest. But I don't know. It's not an album I put on in its entirety. It's kind of one of those ones like I play Rapture and then I play God of Emptiness and then move on, which is bad. But look, I've done it a few times. Formula's Fatal to the Flesh. Now, that was the one that came out. Everyone's like, nah, this band's dead. Nah, you can't change vocalists on me. Nah, band's dead. Nah, fuck you. It's a good album. I got that when it came out too, and I think I was kind of like, oh man, when's Dave? Oh, this new guy's very generic. Whatever. good album. I like that one. But then Gateways came out, and this was such a shut up, fuck you to everyone that dissed them on album F, I think, because this is them at their most creative, definitely their most technical at the time. I mean, Summoning Redemption, just for that track. He Who Sleeps is oh my god. My favorite on here is I, I think it's track 10, I. It's like heavy as molasses. Oh, it's creeping and sliming, and man, and the art on this one's fantastic too. So yeah, maybe unconventional choice, I don't know. I think the Heavy Metallurgy did Morbid Angel rankings a few months ago. Pretty sure this one got pretty high up there for some people. After I've had 20 beers, it's Altars of Madness, right? You put on the one that you know. But if I'm just sober as a judge and I want to play a Morbid Angel album, it's Gateways to Annihilation. It is just fantastic. It is such an essential Morbid Angel album. So I'm happy with that one. This one, we're up to number 8. And this one actually was pretty easy for me, but it's going to be pretty surprising for a lot of people. Surprising that here I am and maybe even saying that I like this band, but also that it's so far up in their catalogue. And it wasn't anything I heard first. I listened to most of their stuff from the 3rd album onwards as it came out. And there's some absolutely outstanding things in there. And if I was objective, I might have to pick something like maybe like Still Life. I'm talking about Opeth. But Ghost Reveries, this is the one I play. This is the one I play all the time. I think a lot of it comes down to Ghost of Perdition, which is just an outstanding track. Oh, so good. I love the inclusion of the Hammond organ or whatever it is. They've got organs in this album. And it shouldn't work, but it does. And it should be cheesy, but it isn't. It just fits. It fits sort of the antiquities thing they're going on here. Atonement, outstanding track. This is one I just play on. I play when I want something that's not going to blow my head off, and it's progressive. It's not too progressive. Like, I like Watershed as well. And then after that, I just don't care. And I think a lot of people are like that. But here, for me, this is sort of just continuing on from like Deliverance. And I just think the songs on here really, really meld well. And Ghost of Perdition, so good. I think I saw them on... No, it wasn't this tour. I saw them on the Deliverance tour, and it was great. But at that time, I was like, play, Demon of the Fall. I was that guy, and they did play it. But as I go, I get older, and I play this one. I play Ghost Reveries, so therefore, it must be my favourite Opeth album. I can't even tell you the last time I put on like Morning Rise or Orchid or whatever. Orchid. But I always play this one. So there you go. The 9th album. This one was also me being a bit objective. This is one of those bands where there is no wrong answer. They are a 10 out of 10, 100% band. They've done nothing wrong. They no longer exist, but they are one of those just outstanding German black metal bands where every album, particularly after the first two, if you get a sort of 3rd album onwards, they're all quite different. They've all got their own personality. And for me, this is a band that their leaving card, their final note as they broke up, was their best album. May not be the one I play the most, but it is easily their best album, and it is their most creative, and it's their most experimental, and it's their most relaxed. It's their most relaxed album. This is Luna Aurora with Horgast, I think is how you say this one. And I mean it when I say relaxed. I mean, at this point, they'd really just let the fury go a bit. It's way more easy to listen to. It's way more accessible. It's still Luna Aurora, but it's a look at the cover. I mean, it's a lighter cover. It's a lighter theme. It's just an outstanding album. It really, really is. All the tracks are fantastic on this. I mean, again, this is one of those bands that if I've had a few tins that I'm going to be putting on like Anduct, because I think Anduct is Christ, that's a great album. But the thing is, there's no wrong answer with Luna Aurora. But really, they left it on such a high note. I don't think they could have gone a different place from here. It's a shame that they broke up, but if you're going to break up, leave on your best album, and that is Hogasht, which I'm probably saying incredibly wrong. Hogasht. It's just Lunar Aurora. If you don't know Lunar Aurora, just pick any album, throw a dart, and they're going to be good. But this one's probably the one to get you into them, particularly if you're not into like super savage raw black metal. Check that one out because it's not that. Now this one, as I said, 9.5. This is 10, but I'm bending it a little bit here. Blut aus Nord with the 10th full length, the 10th full length Cosmosophy from the 777 saga, because this was 10, and this one, which is the Desanctification, is 9, and there we go. Sex, Sects, not the one with the X, you rude people, was the 8th album. So they form a trilogy, and you kind of want to listen to them in a trilogy. But the reason that I am sticking with Cosmosophy, the ending, is it's the one that is the most different, and it is the one that I play all three. You can't really put the first one on, and it's lucky I've got a 3-disc CD changer, so I just go 1, 2, 3, go. The first album is basically, it's the downfall. Everything is just going to hell. Literally, it is going to hell, and it is just the soundscapes of hell as you are going further and further into the pit. By this point, the Sanctification, you are there and walking around sightless, and you are experiencing everything that hell has to offer. But by this point, Cosmosophy, you're seeing the light, you're getting out, you have escaped, you are escaping. And for that, it is such a refreshing listen when you play all three of them, that it stands above. The first two are quite similar. The second one starts to lean into this, but not by much. This one is there at the time. They've done it once more since, but it was almost their happy album. It's light coming through. You are escaping that darkness, and it comes through in the music. It is not just a lyrical thing. The music's got a lot more room to breathe. There's not much like blasting or anything. It is more organic sounding, even though it's like, they've got the most digital sounding drums, even though apparently it's a real drummer. It's very organic, it's very leafy sounding, it's very airy, it's very open, quite minimal at times. There's a lot of dark ambient kind of pieces in here. And so from that perspective, it is such a great ending to a trilogy, which happens to be their 10th album. And because I always listen to the trilogy and end on this album, it always leaves me feeling this album at the end. So therefore, it's my favourite. Blut aus Nord, 777, Cosmosophy. And that is as far as I could get. I could get to 10 albums. I'm a 1980 baby. I don't have a strong connection with older bands, Judas Priest, Dio, Iron Maiden. So I can't go and heart on hand say that the 16th Black Sabbath album is their best, because I just can't. So for me, it became kind of difficult. I started looking at things like Immolation, who've quite a long discography, but for me, it wasn't going to be something towards the end. Nile, big discography, not as big as you think, didn't make the list. It became tough. And because we're only including full lengths, I'm not going to go in here and go, the 37th release from Agathocles, Mincecore, is included. No. Neither would I do that with None Slaughter 7-inch splits. So, I got 10 full lengths, and I don't think I really cheated. So, anyway, thanks, Metal Mickey Mike, for putting this one on. I think it's quite a good idea. I've been watching some of the other, I'd say entries, but it's not a contest. It's just a bit of a challenge. I've been watching some of the other challenge entries and enjoying it, and it made me want to put together this little video. So, I hope you liked it. I hope you all liked it too. If you did, please like, subscribe, check out this thing, ignore that truck, check out this thing, and I'll see you next time.